Hello, I'm Ashley and welcome to the Plantyful Picnic channel, a channel where I show delicious and fun plant-based eating and tips for a more eco-friendly lifestyle. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make these gingerbread people. This recipe for gingerbread people only requires simple whole food ingredients and is delicious. I've tried a lot of recipes for gingerbread men, but they're usually too dry, so I made up my own recipe that only has whole food ingredients and is a perfect amount of moist and softness. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below because I know you're going to love these. To make this recipe, you'll first need a tablespoon of ground flaxseed meal and put that in a small bowl, and then mix that in with 2 tablespoons of water and then set that aside. Next to a large bowl, add some almond butter. I'm using a mixture of nut butters and it has seeds in it, and that works as well. Pour in some maple syrup, and then you'll need some molasses. You want the dark, thick kind, just like this. And then up next, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of banana. You want the banana to be very ripe, just like this. And then I'm going to measure a 1/4 cup of banana. That's a 1/4 cup of banana. Then you need to mash the banana. You could mash it in a separate bowl, but I like to mash it in the same bowl. And then add in your spices: some cinnamon, ground nutmeg, some sea salt, some vanilla extract, and a pinch of ground cloves. And then once your flaxseed meal has been sitting for about 10 minutes, you could also add that into the mix and then whisk everything together. And then finally, we need to add in the flour. I usually use all-purpose flour, but I ran out of that, so I'm using some whole wheat flour that I sifted so it's more fine. And then finally add in some baking soda. And then mix all of that together. That is very good. And then once your dough is completely mixed, it will be very thick and stiff. And then cover the bowl and put the dough in the fridge for a little bit. I'm going to try maybe half an hour or an hour just so the dough could sit, so it's easier to roll it out. It's been over an hour now, and I'm going to take out the dough from the fridge. And now comes the most fun part, rolling the dough out and making the cookies. So first we need to roll out the dough. So you're going to take some flour and just sprinkle it on your flouring surface, just like that. And then you want to scoop out all of your dough onto your floured surface. Oh yeah, and then I almost forgot, I like to form it into a ball first. And then now you can cover it with just a little bit of flour and then start rolling it out. You might need to put more flour down if it starts to stick to your surface. And then keep rolling out the dough until it's about 1/4 of an inch thick. Use a gingerbread man shaped cookie cutter to cut the dough into gingerbread man shapes. And then next, remove the dough between the gingerbread people. Transfer the gingerbread people to a pan and cook in the oven at 350 degrees for about 11 to 13 minutes, depending how thick you make yours. Form the remaining dough into a ball and spread out and roll out again to repeat the process. I finished baking all the cookies. I always have one little blob cookie at the end when there's not enough to make another gingerbread person. And now comes the next fun part, bringing these little guys to life. I'm using some white frosting I made a while ago and just froze it. It's coconut and has some sugar, but you could use any other type of frosting as long as it's not too thin. And then I'm reusing this plastic bag I got from my family because they use plastic bags, and I just washed it and then put on a piping tip. These cookies turned out really good, and I think they're a bit better if I use all-purpose flour instead of the whole wheat flour. And these cookies have a lot of spice and not super sweet, so they're a great breakfast cookie. Well, these are all my finished cookies. Well, I had a lot of fun making these gingerbread cookies today. Be sure to try this healthier recipe for gingerbread cookies if you love a lot of flavor and not super sweet. I'll leave the recipe in the description box below. If you want to see more videos like this, definitely hit that subscribe button down below. Well, that's all I have for today. Stay happy. Don't be this guy. Bye!